Thank you. In case you're wondering, I'm the 55-year-old they were talking about at the beginning. If you add all the other ages together, they come to mine. I've been incredibly lucky, and I'm incredibly proud to have served young people in schools through my roles in schools for the last 27 years. I wasn't very academic when I was at school myself. I struggled with academia, and I measured myself in relation to things called subjects, like maths and English and science. But I was very fortunate. I had a mum and a stepdad who really helped me to understand who I was and to measure myself differently. They gave me wonderful opportunities, and they really believed in education as well. They gave me part-time jobs to go and apply for, to go and do. I was an electrician, I was a builder, I was a labourer, I helped out wherever I could. I stacked shelves at Waitrose. I was on the bread aisle. But I also played a lot of sport. And I learned much more than just the skills of football and golf and cricket and stacking bread and plumbing. I learned what my strengths truly were. And those strengths were realized for me through a PE teacher who taught me that actually my strengths are leadership. My strengths are compassion. My strengths are communication. So I felt much more successful about myself. We talk a lot at the moment, and everybody in this room is incredibly invested in education, about how we deliver education. And should it be robots at the front of the room, or should it be AI? Should it be virtual? Should it be face-to-face? We talk a lot about that debate. But what I want to talk to you about today is the curriculum, what we actually deliver. Over the last 250 years, we've gone through 4 industrial revolutions: mechanization, mass production, automation. Now we're just moving into this cyber-physical sort of world. I went to a seminar yesterday that was talking about the 5th industrial revolution, which will all be about society, but it was a little bit late for this speech, so I'm going to stick to the 4th. Throughout that time, humans' role in the world and interaction with the technologies that have been there has changed. Our role has changed in the world. But education has failed to keep pace. When I was at school, there was a genuine option to leave at the age of 14. You could go into a non-skilled job. Indeed, my mum did. My mum went and swept the floors of a local hairdresser's and cleaned the towels. She slowly worked her way up to drying hair, then washing hair, and then finally cutting hair. She spent 45 years in the same shop, the Beauty Box on Headcorn High Street, before she retired. At 16, a lot of my friends at school left school. They went to train to be electricians or bricklayers. They went to get a trade. That was a genuine option, and they're all doing very well for themselves now. Then at 18, if you got an A-level, you had the option of applying for apprenticeships with banks or accountancies, and they would train you up. They would get you professional qualifications, but they'd do it while you were on the job. And then, wow, if you went to university, you were pretty much guaranteed a job as a manager or as a professional. So why is it today that 34% of people in the UK, age 18, are going off to university and getting degrees? We have the best educated population we've ever had, and yet those people are coming out of university and applying for the jobs I could have applied for at 16 and 18. We've got something wrong. So my view of the future of K-12 education is that there will still be a requirement for those core elements. We need young people and older people to be literate and numerate. There's an element of scientific investigation that definitely feeds a hunger for knowledge and a thirst for knowledge. Those sorts of elements would have to be in a core curriculum. We know enough about the development of the brain to know that pre-7, those elements definitely have to be there, alongside physical development, social development, and communication. And those core elements, in my belief, need to continue as people continue their education. It needs to continue all the way through to 18. But it should be supplemented by true personalization of the curriculum. We should create a curriculum that reflects, knowledge-wise, a global society. It should have a nod and a recognition to the region you're growing up in and an understanding of the context in which you're operating. But young people are going to operate on a global scale going forward. Their education has to reflect that. True personalization for me is about finding your strength, finding what you're good at. Not an outdated subject which, when you sit an assessment, is a test of your ability to recall what you've learned in that subject. No. What employers look for are the communication skills, are the leadership skills, are all of those strengths that you all have, that we should be developing through you in our schools. Tertiary education. Universities. With the rapid development of technology and those technologies doubling every 6 months, why would you go and do a 3 or 4 year course? When everything you've learned in years 1, 2, 2.5 will be irrelevant by the time you finish. Universities will become short stop stays. We will all interact with university. It will no longer become the preserve of 18-year-old graduates from school. But we'll use it as a drop-in centre to upskill and to retrain. World Economic Forum state that 50% of us currently in jobs will need to upskill or retrain within the next 5 years. That's happening now, at the current rate of development. Development is doubling and doubling and doubling. It's going to be so rapid. To keep up with it, we're going to have to constantly re-engage with education. Education at all levels is going to need to inspire an interaction with others, with other humans, but with machines. And that's not something to be scared of. We've constantly been evolving, constantly been adapting to technologies that are there to enhance the way that we do things. Those of us who are wearing glasses tonight, that's a technology that's enabling you to enhance what you're able to do. So I like to think of it as the development of transport. A long time ago, to get around somewhere quickly, you would use a horse. 1 horsepower. As I drove back from Sharjah this morning, having done a talk in Sharjah this morning, I was passed by multiple cars. I know I'm not very quick at driving. I was passed by multiple cars that must have been 600-700 horsepower. That's the evolution of transport. When you sit in your classrooms or in your offices, you are at 1 human power. What new technologies will do will move you to become 3, 4 human power, 5, 6 human power, 700 human power. It will enable us to do higher level jobs at a faster rate. It will support us to do our current jobs even better, and the jobs of the future will be evolved through a combination of humans and machines. That is my feelings about the future of education. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.